What made you want to get into comedy? Hang on.
I didn't think the airport was that close.
Yeah, you know, you really don't until you're watching a movie and then all you hear is a 747 instead of Keanu Reeves' voice. There, we'll go ahead and start that one over. What's your name?
You guys make lots of noise for this guy. He's a good friend. Dakota Sixkiller! Hey! How's it going, everybody? How you doing? Great. I really wish they wouldn't have told you I was recording this thing at all. Jesus Christ. Now I feel like I gotta be good.
What made you want to get into comedy?
I think I always wanted to do it. Just, you know, you think the people you look up to and you admire, you're like, I'll never be them, so there's no way I could do it, because you always forget that no matter how great someone is, at one point they were bad at something.
Yeah.
And it was their obsession and their passion for it that made them good at it, and even great. And I came back from New York City when I was 21 with a friend, and I was feeling it. I was trying to do it then, but then I just came back to Tulsa, and I was like, found out Tulsa had a comedy scene, and went to a comedy parlor downtown at the time, and watched the show. Watched 4 people. The first 2 people bombed, and me and my friend were drinking, but even I was thinking, it's like, I could do better than that. And I always feel like it's the worst people at an art form that inspire you to do it, because it's like, I could do better than them. I can't. The 2 people that followed them did really great, and I was like, oh, they're better than me. But those first 2 people, I could go up with nothing and do better than what they did.
Okay, so that answers my next question. I was going to ask when you start, so I take it, did you start when you were 21 then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is what I hate about getting older the most, is when you were younger you could drink for days and there'd be no problem. I drank for 2 straight days. I don't trust a fart right now. Like, I got some time up here, but I'm still questioning, like, I got to clinch between each of It's getting weird up here.
Since it's kind of a topic, especially in Tulsa, that's been tossed around a lot recently, do you think there are subjects comics should not talk about?
No, I don't think anything's off limits, but it's how you approach it, and also, you know, it's like telling a chef, is there anything you can't use to make a dish? Like, no, you use everything, but even the chef will be like, it's got to taste good. Yeah. It can't just be whatever your mind. It's not you that thinks it's funny. It's other people's validation that makes it funny. Because if it's just based on what we think is funny, then a lot of fucked up things would be hilarious. But that's not how it works. And thankfully, it doesn't work that way. I still think you should be able to try and fail. Failing should be. You should always be able to tell someone, like, even if their intent is malicious, you got to be able to tell them, like, that was just terrible. Maybe find your crowd and do it, but here you don't need to be doing that or trying that. Like it's that great Patrice O'Neill quote is, funny and unfunny come from the same place, and you gotta and no one knows what it's unfunny until they say it, and you can't really hate someone. Well, you can't hate, but you can't really judge them for saying it. It's like that same thing that makes things funny and unfunny. Those are the same places. It's just how it comes across. But you gotta have self-awareness. You can't just be like, oh, everything I say is genius. Like, yeah, then you're stupid.
I actually really like that answer, because usually I get like a hard yes or a hard no on that. But I really like the way you put that.
There's more shades and hues than there are blacks and whites.
There seems to be a decent number of men and women in here, I think. So I got a quick question. Who's responsible if someone gets pregnant? I had an argument the other day, and these women try to tell me it's a man's fault if they get pregnant. I was like, that's kind of dumb. Like, no, you can pull out. You can do all these other things. I said, yeah, but pulling out is unnatural. Like, we're the only animal that just pulls out. Like, if a dog could talk, that'd be like one of the first things a dog would tell you. Like, why aren't you coming in that bitch? Finish. Be a man, pussy. I don't know.
If you weren't pursuing comedy, what would you want to do with your life?
Make this, well, obviously pay bills, be able to do things I always think about doing. I just can't afford with the job or many jobs I work at this particular time. I'd love to make either a movie or like an animated series,
Oh, yeah.
or just or a series in general. I've always thought of a trilogy of movies. 'Cause, you know, I mean, I'm Native American, so to me, I feel like we have our culture and our movies,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it's time for us to take the next step and I would do so because the transitioning of old traditional ways to a more, what would say, modernized lifestyle only happened in the span of 170 years in actuality, and less for a lot of other tribes. So I would think that you could do that in 3 movies of one of the old ways, one of the transitioning, and then one of what would be the modernization or the century. There was a time in which we live, or in the last 20-something years, which would be, I would think, would showcase just how, for a lot of us, how, you know, there's always that get over it. Like, to us, it's recent. Like that's not that far away. That's like my grandpa and my great-grandparents, and even to an extent my own parents. So, you know, it's always palpable to us, and art is a good way to showcase that. It doesn't fix anything, it just creates awareness. So I'd like that to make it awareness.
I actually think that's a wonderful idea. I hope you get to do that someday.
Yeah, and of course there's a lot of other movies I want to make too, stupid, silly,
Yeah.
romantic comedies. I love rom-coms. So.
What's your favorite rom-com?
Ooh, they're so good. I would say the last 15 years, I would put Silver Linings Playbook up there.
Hell yeah.
Because that one, I've forgotten all about that one. But of all time, it's probably either When Harry Met Sally or You've Got Mail. Just because me and my mom watched that all the time, and I loved Meg Ryan. Apparently I have a thing for Meg Ryan. Actually, I think it's the same writer in both of those movies.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but I think she wrote both of them. I would say the ending to You've Got Mail is more charming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, overall, the payoff's better. But When Harry Met Sally is just probably is actually funnier than When You've Got Mail.
No hate, ladies. I'm actually jealous of y'all. I hate how emotionally, how women can be truthfully emotional all the time. Like, you don't have to apologize for having emotions, which sucks. But I was going through some shit the other day. I was crying, and this woman come up to me and said, "Suck it up, pussy." I was like, "Mom, what are you doing?" I'll tear that thing up again, goddammit. That's what she don't know. She can't laugh too hard now or she pees a little bit. I think that's fucking hilarious. Push this big ass head through that pussy. That's what you get.
What do you think about comics with an ego? Because like
Depends on if they earn it. Did you earn it, or are you just having an ego because you were sheltered all your life, and all you ever had was people that boosted your ego? That's what terrifies me about being a parent. Is I don't want to be that parent that just thinks. I coached little league, and also being a part of little league sports as well. It's just is seeing those parents that are that believe in their kids so much. It's beautiful, but it's tragically beautiful because it's like you believe in your kid so much, but you don't realize that this kid will never be what you think they are.
Yeah.
This kid is not Michael Jordan. This kid is not Barry Sanders. This kid is playing and enjoying a sport that they can learn a lot from, but they're gonna pursue other things like most kids do, and you're putting all this weight on something that 8-year-olds play. Like, get over yourself.
Yeah. At a certain point, it feels like it's more for them than the actual kid.
Yeah, exactly. And you're embarrassing this kid more than you are doing anything. And it's what terrifies me, because we know you always run into comics like that. There's comics like that on the West Coast quite a bit. But you got to have confidence, but you can't. There's that thin line between confidence and cockiness. When I was in high school, I got mistaken for being cocky a lot, but I was just, because I kind of was, because I was burnt out on school, so I just said, fuck this whole place. I'd rather just laugh at everything and have fun with it. And it rubbed people the wrong way, but it was like, I don't think they realized I was always checking myself, or had people checking me, and I was just like, all right.
I didn't really say that to her. That would be very mean. My mom would whoop my ass. Little Indian woman. And yes, I am Indian. Sixkiller's the last name. It is true, we get free health care, but at the same time, my health care is all about location. Like, if I get my ass beat tonight, or I get shot tonight. Yeah. Exactly, this person knows. I gotta apply pressure to my wound and be like, take me to Claremont. That's a 40-minute drive. I will bleed out and it'll be done. Stop ruining my jokes and shut the fuck up. This is one of those moments where you're like, you know what, the patriarchy needs to make a comeback. Fuck all this.
So you said you're from New York. Did you live there your entire life?
No, I'm from Oklahoma. I just went to New York.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Me and my friends went there for like a week, a little over a week, and that was when I was working a job I hated, digging ditches, and just thinking what I really wanted to do with my life. And up there, comedy's everywhere, and things were surprisingly cheap. My friends helped shoulder a lot of the load. They bought the hotel room and stuff. I mean, I paid for gas in my own way, but I didn't pay. I had to pay for the hotel, which worked out in my favor as well. So we went there, and I saw some things, but I didn't see everything. But when I was up there, I fell in love with that whole place, and I was like, I don't know. Something about me was like, if I lived here, I would be doing open mics every single day. And then when I got back, I was like, I got to do it. What's the point of saying you're gonna try? Especially after watching those two terrible comics, I was like, all right, I gotta try this. And then went up, bombed my first 5 minutes because I had the ego and arrogance of a 21-year-old, trying to prove, like, thinking like since I was funnier than those two, like all I gotta do is go be funny. And nope, that's not. I had one of those moments where I recognize it now, and I recognized it then, is where another comic was only laughing because of how bad I was doing. And I remember that. And I remember being like, I was having an anxiety attack up there. My heart was racing. I was just like, everything I was saying was just not me. It was like an out-of-body experience. And in that moment, which I think was the best thing to happen to me, because I haven't had a worse bomb since. But after that, I was like, I bet they want me to never show up again. But I have to come back here next week. And if I'm gonna quit this, I want to leave on a good note.
Yeah.
I never want to leave with a sour taste in my mouth. And ever since then, haven't given it up since. So. All
right, that was my time. Thank you all. Have a good night. Keep it going for Dakota. Come on.
We're just missing a Scarecrow and Tin Man now.
Actually, funny story about that. I got that from my ex-wife the first Valentine's Day we were together. And she laughed at me and she goes, you will never find it. We don't have any use for it. You just spend like $50 on nothing. That thing has been in every video I've ever made. I found 1.5 billion uses for that fucking thing.
I found out in one sentence why it was X.
Yeah.